Ro'i v'shalom ateret ba'ala gam b'simcha u'b'tzochola toch emunei am segula mo'ichala
take a moment to relax, perhaps find a way to close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths, get rid of the cares of the week. For just a moment, I will stop to consider the mountains of memories, the false hopes, the insults seared deep, the moments of lost holiness. And this time, I won't rush. I will stop, even if just for a moment. I will stop at the narrow place until another feeling sprouts. And it will sprout within me without delay, and I will know that anything is possible. I will know that anything is possible. We return to our prayer books to page 25. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. Yet if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too, yourself, may be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. Page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה מעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה בנחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
Page 29. There is one who sings the song of his own life, finding everything within himself. There is one who leaves the circle of herself and sings a song of her people. And there is one whose voice rings with the song of humanity, hoping for the highest perfection. And there is one who rises even higher, uniting with all creatures, with all worlds, filling the universe with song. The bar who is on the facing page, please rise if you're able to, for our call to worship.
Yai, lai, lai.
This is an hour of change. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it, we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. Ahavat olam beYisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, u'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael.
In our Torah portion, Moses is yearning to go into the promised land, and as we know, he's not able to, he's not allowed to, but instead he wishes for the people to take with him all of the laws and commandments that he has taught them in the past 40 years, and he tells them again the Shema and the 10 Commandments with its utmost importance and to help us remember it, and he tells them to pass it on to our children, to our next generation, and we are still here many generations later saying the Shema, and as our next prayer on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadivarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן.
Page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory, the earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Continue together at top of page 43. We read together.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 45.
A thought is blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind, joy in the trees. Shabbat has arrived in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day, and eternity utters a day, and Please rise as we begin the Amidah. Adonai, Svatai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Adonai, Svatai, Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai-dai, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol ata Rab lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, michamocha ba'al gevurot, umido melech, melech memit umechayeh, umatmiach Yeshua b'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. In our song sheets, Unshaken but Stirred by Rabbi Deborah Robbins. Av is a month for sitting, weeping, remembering. Across millennia and miles, calamities collide on 9th of Av. Failures of compassion and chaos flood the earth, threaten destruction of creation. Always a cry from deep within, a question without an answer. Eicha, how? I know the ancient lament. I cry those tears. My heart is a tumult of anxiety, loneliness, frustration, disappointment, and self-doubt. My soul melts in the sun's blaze of summer, huddled and hidden deep in the darkness of daylight. Eicha, how did this happen to me? Eicha, how did this happen to those I love? Eicha, how did this happen to our world? Eicha, how will I respond? With praise and thanks, with singing and chanting, you, O God, and your universe are unshaken, and I, in this month of Av, I am stirred in my soul. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha v'vadcha v'yirah na'avot. Page 60. We read together. Grant abundant peace to Israel, your people, forever. For you are the sovereign God of all peace. May it be pleasing to you to bless your people Israel in every season and moment with your peace. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael v'shalom. We take time for internal reflection and silent prayer.
Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. And it repeats, Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. Wherever I go, wherever I go, wherever I roam, wherever I roam, I always know I have a home, I have a home in Yisrael, in Yisrael. Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. And if I'm lost and don't agree, well, I still know what she can be, my Yisrael, my Yisrael. Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Vegoalo. I pray for peace, I pray for peace, I pray for love, I pray for love, I pray that light, will shine above, on Yisrael, on Yisrael. Avinu Shabashamayim, Avinu Shabashamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael. Shamayim, Tzur Yisrael, Tzur Yisrael, Begoalo.
We think of those in our community who are in need of healing, of body or spirit. This week we are thinking of Steve Bloom, Linda Bloom, Joe Crane, Roberta Feinstein, Roger Ford, Tracy Ford, Bill Goldenberg, Ellen Heckler, Carol Vinovowitz, Mickey Rosner, Marcia Silverman, Jonah Vilmier, Mark Wilner, Dan Zimmerman, Judy Zimmerman, Gary Lincoln, and Michael Gordon. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so. On this Shabbat of comfort, the Shabbat following to Shabbat, we read from the words Isaiah. We listen to Nachamu in your handouts, asking for comfort.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheichem, Nachamu.
Tisha B'Av is a difficult holiday to celebrate, especially in the Reform movement. As a movement, we don't pray for the rebuilding of the temple. Instead, we pray for eternal peace. And Tisha B'Av is supposed to be the day when the Messiah arrives. And yet we should work towards peace every day, and it should be on us, not on some other being, to bring about peace. Tisha B'Av is a day of mourning. It's the saddest day in our calendar year. And yet, one could argue that we as a Jewish people have been in mourning since October 7th. And And so how do we make this holiday still have meaning if, one, we don't pray for the rebuilding of the temple, and two, we're already in mourning for the state of Israel and the Jewish people? This is the first year that perhaps the holiday will not be able to hold all of our sorrow. How can we move from our state of mourning that we have been in since October 7th to a more hopeful place? And how can we use this holiday to do so? I want to think about how to observe this day differently than we have in previous years. In our service, we have interwoven readings about Tisha B'Av as a way to lift up the theme of sadness and to remember that while the holiday is sad, it is supposed to end with a moment of love. And so too the Jewish month of Av starts with a despondent moment, and it's uplifted again with Tu B'Av, the Jewish Valentine's Day on Monday. Tisha B'Av is a vessel crafted to hold our personal and collective grief and trauma as we remember the times that we have failed at being our best selves. It is a holiday observed through grief. We fast and sit on the floor and chant ancient laments to hold the horror we have witnessed, the losses we have suffered, and the sorrows and disappointments of our story as a people. It is possible that the vessels that have held our suffering cannot possibly hold anymore. The broken hearts of Palestinian and Israeli families and others throughout the world, caught in the crossfire of war and hate, is too much to hold. And at some point, we have to let go and let our vessels break. When everything inside of us begins to crack, then we can let go and let the vessel break and see the light that is shining through the cracks. As it cracks, we can think about how to rebuild. The Japanese art of kintsugi reflects this same wisdom. The repair of that which is broken can build something stronger and even more beautiful. Tikkun Olam comes from the mystical story of creation, which imagined great vessels that were filled with the light of God that broke apart. The response to that brokenness is our commitment to social justice, fixing our broken world. And the same is true with our brokenness that we are currently experiencing. It becomes more of a question of how to put the pieces back together in a different way than we have previously. And Tisha B'Av is a necessary part of our preparation for the new year. Without it, there is no space for the renewal and joy that we encounter in the new year and on Simchat Torah. Without Tisha B'Av to help us confront our trauma and our grief, we cannot move forward with hope for a better year or a better future. In Lamentations, which we read on Tisha B'Av, it is written that we must get up and sing at the beginning of the watches in the night. In other words, when we least feel like it, in the darkest part of the night, we must sing. And then the wailing and the tears will come, and we will find that we are able to pour out our hearts like water before the face of God. The power of a good cry will be unleashed, and tears will release us from our despondency. And so we can see in the holiday a note of hope. The month of Av is also called Menachem Av, meaning comforting Av, arguing that through collective sadness, we will find solace and strength together. A Menachem is someone who consoles or comforts a person in distress or mourning. It's who we turn to in our time of need. This month is what we can turn to because the overall message of this holiday is rebuilding. And we can add to our language of praying for the rebuilding of a temple for rebuilding and renewal of the Jewish people and our world. Bert Katznelson, one of the founders of intellectual Zionism, argued that the ability to remember and mourn is a strength that allows us to grow. With this in mind, Tisha B'Av becomes more than a holiday to mourn the destruction of the temples. Instead, it's a holiday to remember our quest to repair and rebuild the world. We are now on the other side of the holiday, but the themes of Tisha B'Av, of a divided world, are ever present to us as we follow the news from Israel. The sadness of this holiday is now mixed with a foreboding concern for Israel's future. But we can remember that while the day is a day of mourning, it is also a testament to our resilience, our tenacity, and our ability to continue to survive and adapt. It reminds us that there is hope and that we shall overcome. This Shabbat is the Shabbat of comfort, offering us divine consolation and promising the future redemption of the Jewish people. We lean on each other to remember the love that is shared between us and the comfort we can provide one another. The rabbis teach that the very act of destruction that we fear is actually the beginning of the healing redemption that we desire. Only when something imperfect breaks can we begin to rebuild stronger and better. The act of memory of Tisha B'Av is an expression of loyalty to our past and our hope for a better future. For me, it is a day on which I acknowledge the sufferings of innocents among the Jews and the world at large. It is a reminder of rebuilding and our task in this world. It is customary to sing on the rivers of Babylon on this holiday. This song reminds us that no matter where the Jews live, there can be consolation and relief. It tells of travails of existence and survival, and it helps us remember that when there is sadness, we can rebuild hope together. We join in this song together. It's in your handouts. Or it's actually in the prayer books, page 370. 370. Please be seated. Page 292. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only the trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear, but if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher. When it sends us back to serve and bless the living, we learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence, and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. We think of those who have passed away in recent days and weeks. We're remembering Donna Newmeyer and Francine Wygod. When we think of those who have passed away in this season and years past, we're remembering Joseph Axelrod, Stanley Cohen, Julius Conrad, Marilyn Beryl Gutman, Oscar Arthur Karsh, Robert Kasmer, Carl Kligman, Nathan Napo, Erwin Kulish, Louis Levitz, J. Merwin Lustig, Helene Miller, Harry Milnett, Judy Nadelberg, Miriam Lakin Sadin, Leo Silver, Anna Silver, Marjorie Simon, Isidore Weinberg, Sylvia Weisbrod, Libby Wilner, and Jack Zuckerman. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so. We rise in solidarity for the mourner's cottage, page 294.
Tal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekurusha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru amen.
Please be seated. We have some announcements from Amy. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you to Caitlin for ushering and to Henry for streaming. We are having our annual S'more Shabbat next Friday at 5:30 p.m. Join us for a hot dog and dinner and s'mores. Veggie dogs will be available. This will be a great summer celebration. The service will be held outside, weather permitting, and we will not, take that up. And there is no cost. We are streaming, right? Okay. The next meeting of our current events group, facilitated by David Heiger, will be on Tuesday, August 27th at 3 p.m. Please note the new time for this bi-weekly event is now 3 p.m. Our next First Friday dinner will be following our 6 p.m. service on Friday, September 6th at Uptown Parthenon in Crosswinds Plaza on Orchard Lake Road. RSVP to Cynthia Katz if you'd like to attend. If you have any questions about any of the above events or to RSVP, please contact the temple office. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you. Ruth, would you like to help us lead Kodesh and Mosi? And Nathan, thank you so much. We'll be on page 5.
We raise the cup in thanksgiving. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav b'ratzavanu, b'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziad Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim, v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'te'avon.
Thank you so much for your help. Our closing song is Osei Shalom. It's in your song sheets.
So when Rabbi was at camp, she heard this melody, and she brought it back to us. And it's by Omri Shklar, who is an Israeli, and I got a chance actually to meet him at Havana Shira, and he also was working at camp all summer. One more step, one more day, one more push, we pave the way. It is close, I am sure, more than ever before. We will reach the day we've been waiting for. Oseh Shalom b'imromav, Aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. One more prayer, one more deed, one more hand, it's what we need. It is close, I am sure, more than ever before. We will reach the day we've been waiting for. Oseh Shalom b'imromav, Aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Oseh Shalom b'imromav, Aseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Ve'imru amen.
May you feel whole, knowing you are enough. May you feel confident, knowing you are prepared. May you feel calm, knowing the storm will pass. And may you feel at peace, knowing you are loved. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us for some oneg in the lobby.